Okay, for this project I'm using just regular Red Heart Super Saver, which is a worsted weight 4-ply acrylic yarn. And the color that I'm using is this variegated multicolored. It's called Butterfly. But you can use any type of 4-ply yarn that you have. And I'm using a size I, which is a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. And these are 236 yards a piece, and I bought 2 skeins and I went through part of the second one, so you're gonna need 400 yards at least, 400 probably, something like that, to finish this bag. And then you're gonna need, I actually have these handles that I'm gonna sew on, so they don't have to be this kind. I got these off of an old bag that I bought at a resale shop, but I think you can buy them online. But you can also make your own handles too out of yarn. Okay, first we're going to start with the bottom of the bag, the base of the bag, and it's real easy. It's just done with rows of single crochet. So I already got my bottom done, so I'm going to show you on a smaller scale. But for my bag, I started out with a chain of 38. So once you get your 38 stitches, chain stitches made, what you want to do is go ahead and single crochet in the second stitch from the hook. And remember that we don't count the one that's on our hook. So go ahead and go into the second stitch and single crochet, and then we're going to put 1 single crochet in every single stitch for the length of the chain. Just like that. And when you get to the end of your chain, remember mine's smaller because just doing a little bit of a sample here. All we're going to do is chain 1 and turn, and then we're going to go across again, putting 1 single crochet in every stitch. And we're not going to go on this very first stitch here, not that one. We're going to start with this one right here and work our way across, putting 1 single crochet in every stitch again. Like that, and then you chain 1 and turn again, starting in not this very first one, but this one, across again, 1 single crochet in every stitch. And we're just going to keep doing rows of single crochet. So the bottom's really easy to do. And when you get, I'm going to show you, when you get to the end of your rows, you want to make sure that you're going in this chain 1, otherwise your row won't be even. Look kind of lopsided. Like that. Chain 1 and turn, and then you just do it again. Keep going back and forth. And you want to do a total of 18 rows of single crochet. Okay, once you get your 18 rows done, of course you can always do it wider if you want. What I'm going to do now is go down the sides and all the way back around with a row of single crochet. So I'm going to start right here where I left off, and I'm just going to kind of chain 1, and I'm going to work my way down, putting 1 single crochet in each of these side stitches. Now you're going to be able to see them that well because they are on the sides here, but just remember there should be 18, since we had 18 rows, you should have 18 single crochets down the side here. And I'm just going to go down, putting 1 single crochet in every stitch. I'm just kind of spacing them out, 18 single crochets out. But if you did more rows than 18, of course you'll have more stitches, but it's really hard to tell where they go. Okay, when you make it all the way down the side, I made it down here to the corner. I'm going to go ahead and put 2 single crochets in each of the corner stitches. So I'm just going to go back in and put another one. That way it kind of just rounds the corner a little bit better. And then I'm just going to continue down the long side of my work here. I'm going to try to hide this tail as I go. Putting 1 single crochet in every stitch. And you'll be able to see these stitches really well because it's on the long side. But that's what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to go around the whole piece with a row of single crochet. Just like that. So 1 single crochet in every stitch, and then 2 in each of the 4 corners until you get back to your starting point. Okay, once you make it back to the beginning, all your sides should be nice and clean. Go ahead and just slip stitch right back into that chain 1 that you did, like that. Okay, now I'm going to work the puff stitches, and this is what we're going to do for till you get your bag as tall as you want it to be. So I'm going to start by pulling up a little bit. And I'm going to yarn over, and I'm going to go into the next stitch and draw up a loop. And I'm going to yarn over, go into that same stitch, draw up a loop, and I'm going to do it again. Yarn over, go into the same stitch, and draw up a loop. So I did that 3 times, and you should have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 loops on your hook. Yarn over and go through all 7 loops, and I kind of pull it tight, and chain 1. So that's the puff stitch. And now well, it's a type of puff stitch, I guess. Or I think some people call it a bean stitch, but now we're going to skip 1 stitch and we're going to work another puff stitch into the next. So I'm going to yarn over, go into the, skip 1 stitch, go into the next, and drop a loop. I'm going to do that 3 times. Yarn over, go in, drop a loop. Again. So that's 3 times. 7 loops on my hook. 6, 7, yarn over and go through all the loops, pull it tight, and chain 1. Again, skip 1, and in the next one, work another puff stitch, yarn over, drop a loop, 3 times. Yarn over, 7 loops, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like that. And chain 1, and we're going to do that all the way around. We're just going to keep doing it around in the corners all the way back to the beginning. Puff stitch, skip 1 stitch, and puff stitch into the next. Just like that. And you'll start to get faster at it the more you skip 1, puff stitch into the next. You'll start to get faster the more you do it. Just like that. So I'm going to do that all the way around my entire piece until I get back to the beginning. Okay, once you make it back around to the beginning, all we're going to do now, we're going to start every row kind of the same from now on. We want to slip stitch right here into the top of this puff stitch. I actually ended up just how I was supposed to. I had 1 stitch left to skip in between, but if you didn't, don't worry about it. It's not going to be noticeable if you didn't turn out even number stitches. But make sure you chain 1 after this last one, and skip that one if you have it. And then right here into the top of this puff stitch, we're going to slip stitch, and that's how we're going to close the round out. And now we're going to be working in the chain 1 spaces. So we're going to go ahead and slip stitch over to this chain 1 space like that, and then we're going to start again with our puff stitches. So kind of pull up a little bit and yarn over and go through, and go ahead and do your puff stitch just like normal, like this, and then chain 1. And now we're just going to work our way around doing the same thing, a puff stitch in every one of these chain spaces. And this is how we're going to work the bag for as tall as we want it to be. Just keep putting puff stitches, rounds of these puff stitches, just working in the chain 1 spaces like this. So it's really easy. It's not hard. Maybe a little time consuming, but it's not bad. Oh, I forgot to chain 1 after this one. And then go through just like this. And chain 1. And the more rows you do, the bag will start to come up on the sides. So you want to get it really, well, you can get it as tall as you want. But I'm not sure how many rows I'm going to do. But I'm going to go around with this row, and then again, you just slip stitch into the top of this one. And then slip stitch over into your chain 1 space and start again. And that's how you start every row. So I'm going to keep working until I get my bag as tall as I want it to be. And I'll let you know here in just a second how many total rows that I do. Okay, I went ahead and did a total of 15 rows of the puff stitches, but of course that's not set in stone. You can make it taller if you want. But now I'm going to do a brim on it, and I'm actually going to kind of do some decreases too. So first what we want to do is, I just slip stitched into this puff stitch. So now I'm going to go around the whole top piece with a row of single crochet. So I'm going to chain 1. And I'm going to go back into that same stitch that I just slip stitched into right here on top of this puff stitch and single crochet. And then I'm going to go into the chain space of the next spot and single crochet. And then I'm going to jump over here to the next top of this next puff stitch. See it right here if I pull it apart. Single crochet. And then single crochet into the chain space, just right through it. And that's, I'm going to do this all the way around. 1 single crochet in top of the puff stitch, and then 1 in the chain 1 space. Just like that. And you want to do that all the way around the top until we get back to our starting point. Okay, once you make it back around to the beginning, after that row of single crochet, you might want to put a little stitch marker here because we're going to start working in the round. So I'm just going to use a piece of yarn if I can find one. Maybe. Okay, let's use this little piece of thread I have. But go ahead and stick it here once you get back to the beginning, your stitch marker. And instead of slip stitching my round shut, I'm just going to continue around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump to the next stitch, not the chain 1 that we did, but the first single crochet, and I'm going to single crochet in it. So this round I'm going to do a round of decreases. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 4 single crochets in a row, and then I'm going to do a single crochet decrease. So that right there was my first single crochet. Now I'm going to go, that makes 2, go to the next stitch, 3, and the next stitch makes 4. And then the next one I'm going to do a decrease. And I'm going to work a single crochet decrease over 2 stitches. So I'm going to go into the next stitch and draw up a loop. And then I'm going to go into the next one after that and draw up a loop. And then I'll have 3 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over and go through all 3. So that's a single crochet decrease. It took 2 stitches and it made it into 1. So now I'm going to do 1 single crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm going to do a single crochet over the next 2. So you go in and drop a loop, and then go into the next one, drop a loop, yarn over, and go through all 3. And that's your decrease. And then I'm going to do 1 single crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then your single crochet decrease. And I'm going to repeat this pattern all the way around until I get back to the beginning. Okay, I'm coming back around to my stitch marker, and I just did my 4 single crochets in a row, and I have 2 stitches left, so I can actually decrease over them. But if you didn't end up even where your last stitch was a decrease, don't worry about it. It's not going to make no difference. So just finish out whatever pattern yours came out to be. Okay, now I'm going to take my stitch marker and I'm going to move it up like that. And now I'm going to do 1 single crochet in every stitch on this round. So I'm just going to jump over to the next stitch and single crochet, and I'm going to work 1 single crochet in every single stitch all the way around until I get back to my stitch marker. So just like this. Okay, I made it back to the beginning again after that row of 1 single crochet in every stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and move up my stitch marker, and I'm going to actually do one more row of decreased stitches. So this time I'm going to do 5 decreases, or 5 single crochets in a row, and then on the 6th one I'll do my single crochet decrease. So I'm going to go ahead and do 5 single crochets in a row. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And on the next one I'll do my single crochet decrease over these 2 stitches. So just like this, just like that. And then I'm going to do 5 in a row again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a single crochet decrease. So you just want to repeat that pattern all the way back to the beginning. Okay, once you make it back to the beginning, after that row of decreases, I'm going to move my stitch marker up. I need to get some better stitch markers, or just use whatever I can find. And now I'm just going to actually do a couple rows of just 1 single crochet in every stitch. So that's it on the decrease rows. I'm not going to do any more decrease rows. So I'm just going to jump across, and now I'm just going to do 1 single crochet in every stitch. And I'm probably going to do that for a couple rows. So I'm going to go around a couple times, and I'll meet back up with you. 1 single crochet in every stitch. Okay, once you get back, after you did those 2 rows, final rows of 1 single crochet in every stitch, you can take the stitch marker out, and then just go ahead and slip stitch into the next stitch, and then slip stitch one more time into the stitch after that. And then you can tie this off and hide that tail. And then the handles, I have the store-bought ones, but if you want to make your own, that's fine. You can make 1 long handle, 2 short ones, whatever you want. You can be creative on the handles, but that's completely up to you. So I'm just going to actually just sew my handles on right up here with a yarn needle. Real easy, just some yarn and a yarn needle, and you make your handles however you want to make them. Okay, I'll just show you real quick how I sew these on in case you happen to do fine handles like this and you want to sew them on. I just take some yarn and a yarn needle, and I just sew them onto the this first row of stitches up here. So I just go through the ring and then back through the top of a stitch. And then back through the ring, and then back through a stitch, like that. I'm going to do this for a few times until I feel like it's pretty tight. And that's kind of how I sew these on. Okay, after I got done with the handles, I just put some beads on it, and that's it. That's all there is to it. So it's a really pretty easy bag. I hope that you were able to follow along okay. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. I have a whole bunch of bags and women's clothing and all kinds of stuff on there, baby clothes. Please don't forget to come check me out on Facebook, which I'll put a link to my Facebook below in the description box. And until next time, have a good day.